Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be the loop the narcissist is stuck in. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So there's a loop that they are stuck in. You're now learning that, or you know it, and you were a part of that loop. You were a big part of that loop for a period of time. But on that loop are many people. Picture the loop as the thumbnail illustrates. It's a big roller coaster, and it goes up and down and in and out and all around and frontwards and backwards and sometimes sideways, etc. That is the narcissistic abusive cycle in a nutshell. You were one cog in the wheel of abuse. Now, what really matters is you and your life and your experience. That's why you're here in the community, on the channel, getting the wisdom and applying the tools that I provide for you each and every day. But that cycle of abuse began and started with the narcissist. They had multiple people captured at any one time on that roller coaster of emotions. Some people were targeted smaller periods of time. Other people were targeted for 10, 20, 30, 50 years or more. If you married the narcissist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. What you were is you were built-in supply. You were giving to a fault. You were the person who procreated children with them. I'm sure that you raised them to the best of your ability, even though you were being counter-parented, not co-parenting with the narcissist, because they did not want you to teach boundaries and to teach rules and regulations. In other words, they didn't want your kids to be brought up the proper way, most likely. And then again, let's say you didn't marry the narcissist. Maybe it was your parent, or maybe it was both of your parents. Well, you weren't given the upbringing that you thought you should have been given. You weren't given the support or the love or the TLC. You perhaps even were misdirected and told that, why would you want to become a doctor, or why would you want to start your own business? You should just get a job like I did and put in your time like I did and get the pension. Well, those days are old, they're over with, they're antiquated. No disrespect to any of those things, but we're now almost in 2026 and the world is spinning around so fast. Now you understand that people can misdirect people intentionally and on purpose and knowingly and willingly, because they're envious of people, they're jealous, they're hollow, they're shallow, and they don't want other people to succeed or do better than they did in life. And maybe that was one of your parents. Let's say it was one of your friends who was the narcissist. Well, maybe they blended in with you for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, who knows? And maybe they were the one who cheated on you, your high school boyfriend or girlfriend, behind your back, and you never found out about it till later. Or maybe you just found out about it a couple weeks ago. But the narcissist was always around you. They were swarming around you. They were flying in your radius, in your mindset, in your mind field, in your energy field, and they were learning all about you. You must remember the narcissist is always in competition with everybody, from their own kids, their stepchildren, their spouses, their siblings, their parents, their besties, their neighbors, their colleagues, coworkers, anyone at the gym, the person at the bus stop, the person in traffic. The narcissist is always comparing themselves and what they have with what other people have. And it doesn't stop or end there. The narcissist is always comparing themselves, how they look, their educational level, the car they drive, the watch they have, the trip they took or didn't take, how much money they have in the bank account or don't, where they're living, where they want to live, what they can take from other people. This is why the narcissist is stuck in that loop of abuse. They're stuck in that loop of manipulation, and they can't escape it. So as the thumbnail mentioned in the beginning, you were one of the people that was on the roller coaster of abuse. Now, again, I'm not trying to trigger you or upset you, but whatever your relationship was to the toxic person, you played a role in their life. You may have thought you played a starring role in their life. To them, that's not what you did. You were nothing but an extra. You were the unpaid helper. You were the walking apology. You were the person who would give them attention when they needed it. You would regulate them when they needed it. You would give them money, even though you would never get paid back. You would raise the kids, as I shared. You would cook, clean. You would vacuum. You would buy the pets food. You would take care of the pets. You get all the kids' school supplies and so much more. And that's not even counting probably holding down a full-time job. And you were being abused for doing all of that. No matter where the narcissist was in your life, the key word there is was. They were in your life. My hope is they're out and they're gone, and you have gone no contact. You've blocked that person, deleted them, removed them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? If you can't do that, I understand. That means you need to get ready to create, develop, and execute your exit plan. An exit plan is something that many claim to know what they're talking about, but few actually do. I taught myself how to do it years ago, and I did it perfectly, flawlessly, and I've helped many, many people, no number being put on this one, to escape, to get out of the jaws of the clutches of the narcissist. And if that was you, you know that I helped you get to where you are. It's not until we, the people who are trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle, can't tolerate it any longer, and we put up a boundary, and next thing you know, there's the discard, or the narcissist has taken everything from us that they possibly wanted or could, and we were so broken down or beaten down, meaning our health took a hit, maybe we lost our finances, maybe we just lost a loved one, or we just lost our job, or maybe there was a pandemic, who knows what it was. But when the narcissist is done taking from a person, usually they will not give that person the time of day, and they will try to actually twist the knife in them deeper, which is why you will never get closure from the narcissist. And you may say, what is closure, Andrew? Well, closure is when, I'll give you a prime example. Let's say this is not a narcissistic example. Let's say there's a person in your life in the past that you loved and they left the planet, they died. Well, you probably grieved their passing. Maybe you even went to a funeral or a wake or some kind of spirit of life ceremony or something, but you did it with other people. There was a sense of community there, and you all grieved together for maybe a couple hours, maybe a day, maybe a weekend, I can't tell you, but you all shared stories and you celebrated that person's existence although they were gone. Well, that's closure. That's healthy. That's what we all need to give ourselves. And if you have other people to do it with, it's even better. When you're in the narcissistic relationship, remember, you're on an island of abuse, in an ocean of abuse. And you don't know how you got there because you weren't taught this in school. And nobody, and I mean nobody's going to give you closure but yourself. But putting that aside, the people that you knew, the non-narcissist, when you were in the relationship with the toxic person, they didn't know what you went through. They probably can't even wrap their head around what I'm talking about right now, because they didn't walk a day in your shoes. And to them, they're just living their lives and doing whatever they're doing, thinking you should be out dating right by now, or you should be out doing something different by now. Well, it's not that easy. It's not that fast. It's not that simple. You see, this is the healing path. And the healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that I provide for you with each and every video I create, from all the amazing comments all over the world that are on the channel and on each and every video and short that I create. But this is why the narcissist is stuck in the loop. They can't get out of it. The narcissist could have all the money in the world. They could own their own country, their own time zone, or the ethos. They would still be looking for more. The narcissist wants to take, and when they're done, what do they want to do? That's right, they want to take more. They can never be satiated. They have a bottomless pit within them that can never be filled permanently. That's why they're always looking over their shoulder. That's why they're always looking for new sources of supply. That's why they're not loyal. That's why they betray people. That's why they stab people in the back. That's why they steal people's money, time, energy. That's why they cheat. That's why they hide money and assets. That's why they game the system. That's why they drag out the legal battles with custody and with divorce and with assets. And that's why the narcissist wants to live in people's minds rent-free, because they know, meaning the narcissist, they know that they're stuck in that loop. And if they could get even one person to join them on that roller coaster of abuse, and that's what I did, and I can assure you that's what you did, unwillingly, both of us. But if they can get one person to join them, it makes them feel better that now they are destroying somebody's life. This is what the narcissist wants to do. They want to take you and your beautiful, bright, shining light. They want to extinguish it. That may be a little graphic for some of you, but it's what they want to do, because the narcissist doesn't have within them what you have, which is honesty, integrity, commitment, resilience, purpose, fortitude, love, and abundance, and empathy. If I didn't say that, they don't have any of those attributes. What they have is a vast wasteland, a bottomless pit. They have selfishness. They have hollowness. They have a void. They have emptiness. They have a person who's always in, which is themselves, a person who's always in competition with other people. They're always comparing what they have and what they don't have. They're always jealous. They're always envious. These people will never, and I mean never, change. If you think for a minute that that toxic person you're considering can change, you need to think again. They can't. If they didn't change by now, they're not miraculously going to change tomorrow or in a week or a month. They may claim that they've changed. They may claim that they found some special something to make them become a reformed individual. That's not going to happen. What it is, it's a song and a dance to keep you trapped and stuck longer. And this is what these toxic people do. So let's say the relationship is over and you're out of the narcissistic fog, you're out of the trauma bond, and you're out of the relationship, and you've gone no contact, and you've healed, you've done all the work, you've taken your time, a lot of time, and you've healed. And now you're at the mountaintop of indifference, the pinnacle of indifference, and you're really doing great. Well, every once in a while with certain people, The narcissist may attempt to rear their ugly head and hoover somebody. Yes, we are in the holiday hoover season. The holiday season, throwing the hoover, that's what this is, because Halloween just passed a few days ago. We have Thanksgiving coming up, then Christmas, kids' vacations, New Year's, and there's probably other Christmas parties or holiday parties or maybe birthdays or celebrate, whatever it is. But now we're in the end of the calendar year, and usually that's when a lot of festivities take place. And that's when the narcissist many times will try to pop up and say, oh, they really did love you. Oh, they did miss you. Oh, they've changed. Oh, they want to get back with you. Or oh, how about, here's a famous one. How are you? Thinking of you. Missing you. Hi. You get boring, mundane, simple texts like that. And they are what I call template texts, number one. Number two, there's no substance to those. Number three, they're just fishing. That's what a hoover is. A hoover doesn't mean the narcissist wants to get back with you. Quite the contrary. They're trying to keep you stuck and trapped thinking about them and seeing if you've gone no contact, if you've seen behind the mask, and if you've healed. So that's why you need to become unhooverable. But having said all those things, the narcissist knows they're trapped in that cycle. And they also know that they trapped you for a day, a week, a month, a year, 30 years or more, that they have the ability to do it. That's what they think. I may have misspoken there. They can't get you back. It's impossible because you can't unsee what you've seen. But the narcissist does believe that once they get somebody trapped in that cycle, that they own them. That's not reality. It's not even close to reality. You need to remember there are three versions of you. The first version of you is who you were before you met the narcissist, a person who had rose-tinted glasses on and probably was just living your life, doing whatever you were doing and thinking everybody thought the way you thought. The second version of you is the version who was being abused morning, noon, and evening, left, right, and center. And that's when you were in the narcissistic abusive cycle, a place you didn't even know existed. And the third version of you is the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. That's the person who sees behind the mask. That's the person who has clarity. That's the person who has healed. And that's the person who will run for the hills at the whiff of toxicity, who will disappear as fast as they can once somebody tries to triangulate them, who has a one-strike rule, not a three-strike rule like in baseball, one-strike rule, which means cross me once and you're out. I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to defend anything. I've already been in the cycle. I don't have to tell you anything about it because you probably won't even understand it unless you're a narcissist. In that case, still stay away from me. That's why it's a one-strike rule. There are almost 8.3 billion people on the planet. It's a large population. So don't think for a minute that the narcissist will not always be trying to keep somebody trapped on that roller coaster of abuse. Again, you were on it. You were the front passenger for a long period of time, and you thought it was just you in the relationship with them. What you didn't know behind you, there were so many different cars on that roller coaster. Again, you were in the prime seat. You were the grade A source of supply. But behind you, there were so many other people trapped in the same narcissistic relationship as you were with that person, but probably not to the level you were, not even close, but they were getting abused. And that includes their own siblings, their exes, their kids, their family members, their coworkers, people in traffic, on planes, on trains, and automobiles, and so on and so on. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is immune to the wrath of the narcissist. Anyone is susceptible, and anyone can fall prey to the narcissist once they don't have the wisdom. When you have the wisdom, you must maintain your boundaries. You must maintain no contact, and you must understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third, and there's no room in your life for toxicity, not now or ever, because you've seen something that most people will never be able to wrap their head around. You perhaps even experienced the dark night of the soul. You probably experienced the discard or untethering yourself from the narcissist, and that's not a fun thing to do at all. And I'm being very polite with my words. You must remember, again, before I close the video, because this will be a little bit shorter, there are 4 ties that must be cut. The emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. As you're cutting those, you're getting stronger. As you're getting stronger, they're getting weaker. As they get weaker, you get clearer in your mind. The clearer you get, the less they matter to you. The less they matter to you, the more the reality, the magnitude of what the damage they implemented or did to you comes to fruition, meaning the realization of how toxic it really was. You see, when you are in the cycle, every day is like Groundhog Day. It's the same as yesterday and over and over. And you're ruminating, you're pining, you're wondering, you're glued to your smartphone. The house is perfectly clean. You have no money. You're in credit card debt because you've given all the money to your abuser. Your abuser is doing whatever they want to, talking to you when they want, giving the silent treatment when they don't want, coming home if they need something, not coming home to spend time with your replacement when they don't want to. They're doing whatever they want to because they knew that they had placed their dirty fangs into you. Picture a vampire, if you will. Whether you think a vampire exists or not, it's up to you. I'm just giving an illustration because Halloween just happened. Vampires is a creature that sinks two fangs into somebody's neck and extracts something, right? Well, there's your narcissist right there. That's what they do. They want to extract. They want to take. They don't want to improve. And as soon as the light shines on the vampire, what happens? Well, they either disappear like a bat and they fly away, or I don't know, maybe something happens to them. I don't remember. But what I do know is they live in the dark. Think about what I'm sharing with you. There is good on this planet and there is evil. There is light and there is darkness. There is the narcissist and worse kinds of people, and there's the true empath, and you're looking at one right now, an empath, not a toxic person. And if you don't think empathy exists, please really take a good hard look at yourself. If narcissism exists, empathy exists. And if you don't think it exists, you're probably the narcissist. Having said all these things before I close the video, the narcissist is stuck in the loop. They are stuck on their own roller coaster of emotions. Nothing will ever be enough for them. It doesn't matter how many times they get married or remarried, the new supply is always going to be either A, a former source of supply, B, a clean slate, or C, a toxic person, even worse, or equal to the narcissist. But what the narcissist knows is they're trapped on that cycle. They know that the demons in their mind cannot ever be removed. They know that the demons in their mind cannot be taken out. They know that that vast void within them will never be filled. And they also know what they are doing. If you think for a minute that the narcissist doesn't know what they're doing, think again. Just like you decided to watch this video at almost 17 minutes before I close it, the narcissist also can watch the video if they want to. They can also abuse people knowingly and willingly and intentionally. That's why you need to run for the hills once you figure out who somebody is and that they don't serve you and actually trying to destroy your life. That's what the narcissist tried to do, but they failed, and they failed miserably. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all. You are not alone. And remember something. As the thumbnail highlighted, it's a roller coaster. And there's a brain on the roller coaster, I believe. That is the mind of the narcissist going around and around and around, trying to capture and trap as many people in their web of lies, manipulation, deceit, destruction, and devastation, and confusion as they possibly can. And when you are on that roller coaster, you don't have the wisdom, you are helpless, you have no idea what's going on, all of your resources are being taken from you, and you don't know how to get off of it. You don't know how to remove yourself because you're tethered to the abuser. And the abuser did that willingly and knowingly and intentionally. That's why you can't tempt fate. That's why you need to maintain your boundaries and maintain no contact. I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.